All right, we want to thank the media for, joining us. It's great to see all of you up close and personal, not virtually. It's great to have fans back. And obviously, we are very much looking forward to Saturday, July 17th in San Antonio at the AT&T Center as we have a unification matchup for the undisputed super welterweight championship of the world. Undisputed. The man to my left, he holds the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF super welterweight championships of the world. I'm talking about Houston's very own Jermell Charlo, as he will go to try to become a unified champion as he takes on the WBO super welterweight champion of the world from Argentina, Brian Castaño. Just to give you an idea, that is a tremendous main event, but we also have a very good co-main event as we have Rolando Romero, who's defending his interim lightweight championship of the world. He will defend his championship against Nashville's very own Austin Dulé. To begin the night, we have an outstanding young fighter who's 25 years of age, a middleweight prospect, Amilcar Vidal, matched up against the veteran in Emmanuel Alim in a 10-round matchup. This is all being brought to you by Lions Only Promotions and TGP Promotions. Tickets are on sale now. You can get them at AT&TCenter.com. Now, it is obvious that Showtime Championship Boxing has a loaded schedule, along with Premier Boxing Champions. Before we get to the champ to my left and his esteemed trainer, let's bring up the boss of Showtime Sports and Showtime Championship Boxing. Here is Mr. Steven Espinoza.
Thank you, Ray. Before I say a few words about this fight, I wanted to take a minute to recognize someone who I think is underappreciated, and that's Derek James. In today's society, in this sport, and in the world, people who go about their business, stay classy, and don't try to make headlines, don't often get the attention they deserve. But this man has two unified champions, with Jermell being hopefully successful in his fight. Then he'll have a unified champion and an undisputed champion. And I haven't done the research yet, but I can tell you that may be one of the firsts that has happened. So I think it's time that this man gets his recognition. You guys know him. He's quiet. He's not one to brag or boast about his accomplishments, but I think he deserves the recognition, now.
Thank you very much.
But then let's talk about a guy who is not shy about his accomplishments, nor should he be. This will be, believe it or not, this will be the 14th appearance of Jermell Charlo on Showtime. He started on Showbox, through Showtime Extreme, through Championship, all the way through pay-per-view. This could have been a pay-per-view very easily. But we've talked to Jermell. This is an important fight in the history of the sport. It's an important fight for getting the momentum back after the pandemic in the sport. And Jermell graciously agreed to put this on Showtime and make this available to the biggest audience possible. We will be, yes, that is worthy of recognition. We will be supporting this fight with an all-access special. We're filming now, and as usual, Jermell will be his usual entertaining self. But more than all access, more than all of that, this is the consensus #1 fighter in the division versus consensus #2. People say nowadays, the best aren't fighting the best. That's bullshit. I'm here to tell you. It happens, it's been happening, and right here is a great example. An undisputed titleist at stake in the 154-pound division. It does not get bigger than this. A good solid undercard along with it. This is really the event of the summer. Looking forward to it and glad to have Jermell back on Showtime.
Thank you. Thank you very much to the boss, Steven Espinoza. Steven got me even more excited for July 17th with Jermell Charlo and Brian Castaño. And now we want to bring up, this man holds 3 belts. One of those belts is the legendary
you tripping.
4 belts.
4 belts.
Okay. 4 belts. He's got the green belt.
Every belt they honor that every other belt gets.
Of course. So, but I know you have the green belt. You're proud to wear the WBC belt. I want to bring up the president of the World Boxing Council. I believe he has something to give to you, Jermell. I want to bring up Mr. Mauricio Suleiman.
This is the president of the WBC, right?
Yeah,
He's been rocking with me for a long time. Like he's been, when Mayweather was a champion, Canelo was number 3. He said, "Jermell, just be patient, wait your turn." And I always respected that. You know, I had nothing to do with any of this. You know, like I just had to just stay in my position and just wait my turn. And I guess now is my turn. So, hello, how you doing?
How are you? Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Well, before we give you something special for you, I know how much you cherish your 2 beautiful babies.
Correct.
So, we're going to have them come up to receive from you.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Eli, come on, see me.
Let's give them a round of applause, guys.
That's what I'm talking about, right? The WBC, they're a little bit different from all the other organizations. I operate with every other organization. It took me forever to get the IBF belt. I don't know why I did that, but the WBA belt, they came kind of fairly cool. The Ring magazine,
Yeah.
they was dope. They send my stuff right away. Shout out to Brittany and TGB and all the people that made that happen. But look, here you go. This is for you.
Go ahead, if you guys can go ahead and look out, and I'll get out of the way. You guys
Get out
take
the way,
a look.
bro.
Let me get out of the way.
These are my babies. These are my babies. Shout out to them.
Let's give them a round of applause for the beautiful family.
All right, don't sit down now. We gotta get this done so we can get done with this fight so my brother can whoop something.
You know what? People don't realize how much the wife, the kids, the family suffer when you go to camp, when you have to be so disciplined. And for anyone who has kids, tomorrow is Father's Day, so it's a good giving back to your kids. Thank you. So we have been doing this special
Okay now.
wooden.
Okay now. He ain't stop with him now.
So this is you looking pretty. This is just a little something from the WBC to you as our champion, and this is done by my brother Pepe, and he sends his best regards to you, and we're very, very proud of you.
Did somebody make this by hand?
Yeah, it's handmade, it's wooden carving, and it takes a long process to do so. It's something special.
What amazing.
I hope you like it, and you
Give
put
them a hand,
something special.
everybody.
This is what I want.
Anything else is still
The
got
last one,
Oh shit.
little Charlo.
Okay now, that's like a little trouble. Hey, like a voodoo dog, but we ain't gonna go there with it. Straight up. Look, I appreciate everything the WBC has ever done for me. They've been rocking with me, like I said from the beginning. They've been with me before I got with Derek James. They knew that I would be a world champion, you know, and for some odd reason, they're still by my side. You know, this is a wicked world in boxing. You see, I got my wicked dog now. Thank you so much for Mauricio Suleiman and everything. You know, it's Father's Day, so thank you for all our fathers that's still rocking with boxing. We've been doing this for a long time. You know, like if you're with Lions, only you really with us. Like this is amazing. Look at the cherry top. Look at the top.
awesome.
Y'all see it? I gotta go read down my hair. But thank you so much.
Thank you,
bro.
Mauricio. Really appreciate it.
Wish
Mauricio
you
Suleiman.
best of luck and make us proud on July 17th.
Yes, sir.
The
Yes, sir.
esteemed president of the WBC, Mr. Mauricio
I'm
Suleiman.
gonna get this to the way.
And as Jermell's giving his painting and all the accolades that he's getting, I want to introduce, as Stephen talked about, his esteemed trainer. If you know boxing, you know that this man, without a doubt, is one of the best, if not the best trainer in the world. He's so open and honest. He trains this man, also trains Errol Spence. And listen, in that gym, they get work done and they get results. I want to turn over the floor momentarily to give some opening thoughts as he prepares Jermell Charlo for Brian Castaño to the esteemed trainer, Mr. Derek James.
Thank you, and thank you to Mauricio, and special thanks to Steven Espinosa, that's my guy. And I'm just here, man. We've been working hard. Camp has been pretty tough, pretty grueling. And, you know, just to watch Jermell deal with everything, and everything in success is about adversity also. So the adversities of training, the adversities of preparing for fights, the heat in Texas, it's like real hot, you know. So and just to continue to push through that, and we know the type of fighter that Brian Castaño is, and we're preparing for the best version of himself. So I know he's a good fighter, good boxer, good technical fighter. So it's all about techniques, and we'll see. And Jermell will show really who he really is and what we've been working on and how he's progressed even from the last fight to now. So you'll see his greatness, and hopefully the voodoo doll will work the other way around from my understanding. You know? So yeah.
All right, thank you very much to Derek James, the esteemed trainer Jermell Charlo. And now I get an opportunity to talk about a man who I've known for quite some time. I mean, we have known each other for a long time, and I'll tell you a quick story before we get into this. Prior to his last fight against Jason Rosario, that he picked up more championship gold in an impressive 8th round knockout that earned him the WBA and IBF championships. About 10 days before that fight, we were out, Steve Pratt and I, we watched you train. We did a media workout at the gym with Derek James. And if you guys remember the movie Rocky 3, prior to Clubber Lang fighting Rocky the first time, when Clubber Lang won, when he was whacking the heavy bag, he reminded me of Clubber Lang, but when he was successful. Because Jermell Charlo, he increases his intensity, he has just this tenacity, and he wants to rip your head off. And that's what he does in fights. His record, 34 wins, just 1 loss, 18 wins coming by way of knockout. He avenged that only loss with a highlight reel 11th round stoppage of Tony Harrison in one of 2019's best fights. He's all about this city, Houston, Texas. They say they do things bigger in Texas. We're going to be in San Antonio on July 17th. Please welcome the WBC, IBF, and also the WBA Super Welterweight Champion of the world from Houston, Texas, Jermell Charlo.
Thank you so much. You know, it's been a rodeo for me. You know, like I just really want to appreciate everybody that's been, you know, like anybody that's been down with the Lions Only crew since the beginning. Like I really want to just tell you, like I have my eyes open for you, and I really appreciate you. I'm talking about from the Jim Graves, you know, like, you know, Jim Graves, I see you in the back, maybe. Like, I mean, I'm talking Al Heyman, I'm talking everybody, you know, like it takes a lot to be a boxer, right? I don't know, I've been boxing for like 13 or 14 years now professionally, 20 plus years as from the amateurs to now. And I'm just really appreciative of everything, you know, even when Derek James has blessed me, and he changed my career at the moment he did. You know, when I felt doubt, when I felt like it was not a possibility of making it again in boxing, Derek James stepped up and he made it well work. From the stablemates to Earl Spence, to my twin brother, from Arizona Lara, from like watching Kermit Cintron and watching Evander Holyfield and Mario Augusta and Vernon Forrest, and just to everybody, like I know Vernon Forrest is there, RIP him, but a lot of people, you know, like I just, Omar Henry, you know, Lenore Lane, I just can go back and back and back of all of the people that, you know, helped me prosper to this position. I'm just really appreciative tonight. It's a very special night for me. Juneteenth, you know, June 19th, when they freed the slaves, you know, like I feel free right now. I feel free to be able to sit on this podium and to be able to speak on any way I feel, because the moment is for me. Brian Castaño was not here tonight. He was going to be here, but I guess he had some flight delays. But, you know, I just want to say, like, you know, watching so much of these same shirts and same people and same media outlets, and my God, right here, you know, just everybody, you know, like I really appreciate y'all. Like, I've been really rocking with me, you know, like, I'm a little different from my twin brother. Considerably the more talkative twin. I can go all night long, and they tell me to hurry up, don't be too long, so they hurry up and make me get on this mic, right? But like, you know, I wanna make some things clear real quick. You know, I'm Black Power forever. You know, I love my race and I love and what we've been through. We've made it very clear that, you know, it's been a lot of injustice, and I just want to stand today strong for the people that hasn't been able to get justice, and I just want to be the one to fight for you. And right now, I know, you know, a lot of back and forth with different people, and them not really understanding me. But you know, whenever you get in the ring, you know, at the end of the day, once you clear the commission and you get in that ring, that's when you fight for your life. I've been through those moments, right? I've lost to black fighters, and I've won to different fighters. So I understand that what it takes to win. Once you lose a fight, that's the hardest thing. Like, I lost before, and it separates me from my twin brother. You know, he lost. I mean, he's never lost. You know, he's an undefeated champion right now, and you know, I was an undefeated champion that lost, and I had to find out how to figure the ropes out with being a difference, and I think that loss made a big difference for me. The worst thing that you can do is make excuses. The only way you can win this title and win these things back in life is by getting these belts back. And I've done it. Like, it's amazing to me. I went out there, I fought Harrison for the second rematch when he was talking crazy, calling me cornballs and all this other stuff. Nobody made nothing about that, you know. And then I come out of nowhere and I just turn around and fight with, you know, Coda, because Coda was the second mandatory, but he was the Mexican knockout artist. And we saw a lot of crowd over there in Vegas, and I won that fight by knocking him out in the third round. I revenged my loss very
In spectacular fashion, because that's exactly what it was. And you had, look, the one thing I'll say is that about this man is that things haven't come easy for Jermell.
Don't cut me off though, just keep going.
Let's keep going, but let me go ahead and just let the people know that you wanted that rematch against Harrison. Harrison got injured.
Supposedly.
Huh?
Supposedly.
Well,
After statistics, I know he didn't really get injured. He didn't even go through all of that. So,
you had to wait.
He had a time of break.
Yeah,
He
you
had
had to wait. And you had to fight Coda, who was a hard power puncher. And you wiped him out in 3 rounds in front of a very energetic, enthusiastic crowd in Vegas. And then the Tony Harrison fight the second time.
And I revenged my loss, right? And after I revenged my loss, I came back to fight a Dominican who was supposedly the guy, the newest guy in the game. And he was the guy, you know, like me and Derek can tell you, we really trained differently because, you know, he was a bigger guy, he was bigger than me and all of these other things. And I went back to my studies and my analogies in my mind, and I stayed strong with everything. No matter what, coach, I'm gonna get in there and fight for us. You know, we sitting over to the left of me with a lot of belts, but that don't mean nothing to me, you know. It's all about who really rock with you. You know?
Jermell, what is this fight against Brian Castaño? You know, he's coming off of the win over Patrick Teixeira. You know, he's a kid that's 17-0. I want to give a couple of quotes because I did talk to him on the phone. Rick Domino from Showtime did a great job. And I want to give you some comments that he gave to us.
We got press conference.
We got some time. But I want to go
talk to these people.
But I want to go ahead, and he says it's such an honor and a privilege to have a chance to unify the 4 belts. It's such a unique opportunity. It's about making history. Only a few fighters have been able to achieve it and write a golden page in the history books of boxing. I plan to be the first Latino to do so. So for you, Jermell, this is a unification fight. You have 1 more belt left. What does this mean to you on July 17th?
Well, to shout out to my family, because my family makes me want this more than ever. You know, my family, my kids, my children, my fiance, everybody in this world right now that really stricken with me, with lines on me and everybody, they want it more than I do. You know, I'm comfortable, I'm happy. You know, but the spark that they give me is like 2 times as much as Brian Castaño could ever imagine. You know, I'm excited for this opportunity. I want to win every belt in the division. I want to make history, right? That's what this America is about, right? America is about making history. You see, we made history with all of these different presidents, and we made history with all of these things that are going on. There won't be history made within a Latino trying to come in and defeat you fucked up, you know, like I'm him, you know, like I'm that guy.
So I know it's not going to be in Houston, but it'll be in San Antonio.
San Antonio.
You have a very good following here, an amazing following all over Texas.
We're going to get on the road for 3.5 hours,
Exactly.
and we're going to dip out, and we're going to take a little trip good food, we listen to some good ass R&B music and everything else that we listen to, and we're gonna head over there to San Antonio, and we're gonna dip out, we're gonna have a good time in San Antonio, you know, like San Antonio got Six Flags after the fight over with, everybody meeting over there, and we're gonna enjoy our children.
So Castaño, when I asked him about fighting in San Antonio, he said fighting in San Antonio was big, and everyone knows that Manu Ginobili is such a hero there. We all admire and love Manu, who's one of Argentina's best ever in any sport. If you go to San Antonio, you were born in Argentina like myself, you better be ready to give it your all and keep and further your legacy. So for him, San Antonio is also significant.
Well, shout out to Manu Ginobili for bringing all of the Latinos and all the Argentinians to San Antonio. But, you know, like we migrate from Houston to San Antonio back and forth all the time. Like San Antonio rock with Houston, and Houston rock with San Antonio, and Houston rock with Dallas, and we all over the buildings. And we do this. We do this as a Texas thing. So shout out to Alabama for making this fight happen at the Alamo Dome. We will be there.
What do you expect? Yeah, what do you expect though when you get in that ring and that bell sounds against Brian Castaño? What do you expect? What can fans expect to see on Showtime, July 17th?
Well, this motherfucker gonna come. He gonna come. He's shorter than me. He gonna expect to throw a lot of body shots. He gonna try to wing a lot of shots. Have you ever seen somebody ever get slapped by me?
I've seen guys get hit by you and they don't fare well.
Okay, so therefore, if he runs into the wrong punch, Mr. Derrick James and we have a very, very great game plan. Shout out to Juan Guzman, he helping me as well. But me and Derrick James, the head coach, will make the adjustments, okay? We don't stop. We will continue to do what we do. I'm not afraid of no man. The only one I fear is God, all right? You know, and so with that being said, there's nothing that can stop me right now. I'm all the way up, all right? I've been here for a long time. I've been here for a long time, 31 years old now. So I cannot go into this situation thinking that I gotta take a fear. I got nothing to lose. He got everything to gain. What the hell does it matter? I got a bunch of belts. You can have them trophies. Those trophies don't matter to me. The WBC love me already.
Can I tell you? I'm going to tell you what he said in regards to the fight, and then you can. I'm going to let you respond. Brian Castaño said it's going to be a tough fight between two great champions. Charlo is strong and a good boxer, but he never suffered in the ring before. He will on July 17th. I'm going to win, and Charlo will suffer. What's your response to Brian Castaño saying that on July 17th at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time on Showtime Championship Boxing, he's going to beat you and he's going to make you suffer? What do you want to say to that?
Well, if he make me risk my life, what you think I'm gonna make him do with his? If you make me risk my life, you will really have to put your life on the line. I'm not the one to play with. I'm not just devastated with my punches, I'm devastated with my mental. There's nothing that he can do to me that I have not ever seen already. I've been in boxing way longer than he can expect and imagine, and so has he. But tonight, on Juneteenth, my brother will show you what I'm worth, because that's my twin, and nothing that he can't do, I can't do. And we gonna do this together. And on July 17th, coming my fight, I'm working way 2 times as hard as he can ever imagine. And I'm gonna be different. I want to be amazing. I will move, I will box, I will stand, I will whatever he want, I'm with it. Anything he do, I will take him out of his game plan. That's my job.
Have you thought about where you see the fight ending, what round, anything along those lines? Have you thought about that as you look at his style and things along those lines? How's the fight going to end on July 17th?
For him and his family, you know, like I did with the rest of the guys. I just want them to take care of him. I'm done with them.
And then also, my final question to you, then we'll open
He
up
want
to
to
many different questions.
He want to come with a lot of pain and pressure, and he want to come with a lot of power and a lot of all that. You know, when that happens, they end up with the wrong twin.
Have you thought about the moment, if things go according to plan for you on July 17th at Showtime Championship Boxing, when they give you that WBO belt when you beat Castaño and you have all the gold, all the belts. Have you thought about that moment, about how you might be feeling and what that moment would signify for you and your legacy in your career?
Another trophy for me. I just want to keep going. I I want to win another world title with the same weight class as my twin brother. We won him at 154. I want to win him at 160. We're not done. Coach, what you got to say, Coach? Tell me. I want the world to hear what my coach really tells me. Tell me. Stay focused. He told me, don't go lie. Every time I talk, sometimes.
So basically, I'm telling them, stick to the point. Don't open it up for,
Opportunities for you to fuck me up.
Well, now we got questions. Where's Greg Domino at for the media? Some media questions, and then we will get out of here and head to Toyota Center.
Hey, Jermell, we know your opponent's not here, but what are your thoughts on his as a fighter? You know, he had the close fight with Laura and some of the other fights he's had.
Well, Laura's a great fighter. I feel like I do a lot more than Laura does in a fight.
Jermell Charlo, you just mentioned how you would love to win the title, same division as your brother. You both did it at 154. That being said, once you become undisputed on July 17th, is it fair to say to expect your next fight to be at middleweight to chase that goal of yours?
No, I want to stay at 154. I'm going to be here for as long as I can. You know, my dog Earl Spence, that's my brother at heart. I love him so much. You know, like I'll never fight Earl Spence. Just like I told Laura when we was at 154 that we'll never fight each other. I know he moved trainers and he not around these shows anymore, but I just can't see myself really like stepping in the ring with somebody that I went years and years and years of training with. Coach Derek James has trained us for our perfection. I don't care, there's a lot of boxers in this world. Like if I can't make this money and do the same thing that I've been doing, you know, like it's not for me, you know, I gotta move on to the next fight. Thank God for Castaño being someone that's out of my camp and I can win a undisputed championship. I'm the unified champion right now. So I would never like me and my brother, we're here, Earl, we're here, you know, like we're the three from Texas. There's no way you could put a Texas fighter versus someone in Texas. That's stupid to me. Like it's mandatory that we beat everybody else in the USA.
Before we get to the next question, I want to ask Derek. Derek, what do you think of Brian Castaño, and how does Jermell?
Wait, you asking about the other question?
No, I mean, I'm letting them. I'm just asking Derek real quick about want to get some X's and O's from him and stuff. You know, you obviously do a great job of executing it. But Derek, what do you think of Castaño, and how does Jermell? What kind of game plan are you thinking about? How does Jermell beat Castaño on July 17th?
I think that Brian Castaño is a really good fighter. I think that, he's made it this far. He beat some people. He fought a good fight with Laura.
Yeah, 18 fights.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter.
35. I haven't got experience.
We're not comparing that. What I'm talking about is he's a good fighter. I hadn't got to the problem match. We haven't answered what about.
I mean, yeah, I draw with Laura.
Okay, so what I'm saying is he's a good fighter.
Yes.
And you have to respect his abilities, you know what I mean? But at the same time, Jermell he's more athletic, he's faster, he's able to think on the fly, and it's all about a strategy game plan. I think that he has a really good team because I watched him fight. His trainers are really good, obviously teaching him some good stuff. So we'll see who wins that battle. And I voted myself, but at the same time, Jermell's athleticism, his intellect, and everything we're setting up. Our goal is to be the best and to take all those attributes away. So everything that he does, my job is to make sure we don't even get to see how good he is. Meaning that not necessarily knockout, but that he doesn't get to show his skills. That Jermell does his thing and don't even get to see it.
We got more questions from the media?
Bill over here. How does it feel that like you, your brother, and Earl are like the godfathers of Texas? Like, I come to UFC, I was in Phoenix last week, and I'm like, oh, from Dallas. Oh, you were with them Charlo boys and Errol Spence. That's the fact that y'all synonymous with Texas boxing, and people, that's the first thing they think about is y'all three.
Well, it's an amazing experience. Thank for everybody that's been a part of that, Ronnie shows and Derek James. And I just think that right now for boxing in Houston, we really run the shit. Like nobody can fuck with us. I've been in the ring with a lot of different guys, and I've been seeing older heads come into the boxing. And I've watched a lot of people that Ronnie trained, and from the one DS Rocky Warriors is from I think his name was Chavez from San Antonio, Austin. These guys are great, boxing is a man-down sport. And for what we have done in the last couple of years that we've put on the show. Like, I can't wait till Earl fight and my brother get this win tonight and we move forward, you know. I have a major fight coming up on the 17th of July. That's going to make a big difference for what Texas matters, basically.
How does it feel to know that you get that belt July 17th? You're very concerned about your legacy, but that'll submit you as a certified Hall of Famer at 31.
Yeah, you know, being 31 years old, I'm young still, and trying my best to keep it moving. You know, I'm not done with the sport of boxing. I don't think this is a young man's sport either. You know, a lot of people say, hey, you can jump into this game as young as you can, but I think when you get older, you get the better experience and much more power and much more respect. Let's pop.
What's up, Jermell? Hey, Jermell, can you talk about your experience training with Chad Ochocinco and what you make of his pro debut?
I like the fact that Ochocinco jumped in the ring. You know, that was a crazy experience. It was great because of the fact that somebody can come from the NFL and jump into boxing. That shows fearless. You know, like, you're a fearless person. You no matter, that doesn't matter. Like, what you've been through and what you can go through and everything else that matters in life, you would jump into a boxing ring where you can risk your life. That's huge. And I'm proud of Ocho for what he's done. I wish they would have given him a win, other than just somebody that don't know what the actual standpoint is for that fight. But he, to me, won in my eyes.
All right, well now I will turn over the floor one more time to Jermell Charlo. Final comments as you get ready for your matchup coming up on July 17th, the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. It is Jermell Charlo, Brian Castaño for all the gold at 154. Jermell, the floor is yours.
I just think that, you know, Brian Castaño is a great fighter. You know, he comes to fight, he doesn't stop. He did a lot of things that was impressive to the rest of the crowd. And I feel like he will fight. You know, he will come, he will bang, he will box, he will move back, he will move forward. Lateral movement. Me and Derek has been working tremendously. We're working hard. We won't end. We're together forever. And I think that it takes a lot to jump in the ring and become an undisputed champion. And with that being said, I'm going to do everything I can in my willpower to win this fight.
Jermell, thank you very much. Don't forget Saturday, July 17th, presented by Premier Boxing Champions on Showtime Championship Boxing, promoted by Lions Only Promotions and TGB Promotions. We'll see you all on July 17th. Jermell Charlo, Brian Castaño for all the marbles at 154.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's too heavy. Oh.
Right here for Showtime. Thank you.
Now look back here. Good, thank you.
You going down here, Bill?
Oh yeah, one more time for us.
Thank you, Jim. That's what I'm talking about, Jim.
Appreciate you, champion.
How you doing, man? You think we'll be able to get Derek? Hopefully. When I get some cup of scrolls.
Just, well, probably, I think it's going to be like that because there's a lot of.
He's not going to want to be here for an hour anyway.
Right. So.
Shit, man, this stuff is so late too. The fight's already started.
I think you're right. Yeah, that's cool. How you doing, Jack?
They took all my WBC belts.
All right, go ahead.
That was a cool little touch with those mini belts for your kids for the WBC.
I appreciate the WBC.
Yeah. When this fight was first mentioned, I mean, how excited were you to get this type of opportunity?
Well, when you pay attention to the caliber of the weight class, everybody has been talking about when Rosario was going to fight with J-Rock, and whoever wins that fight this fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then that got out the way, which was the IBF, and then they made Pechi Tejera fight Castaño, and that fight went out the way. So now it's just like, it's fall of marbles. It's just a huge opportunity for me.
How good does it feel to be the shot caller after you're fighting so hard to be in this position? All moves go through Jermell Charlo.
It almost make you feel like every other state. It's 50 states versus Texas, I feel like super huge feeling that Texas finally get an opportunity to fight for something else.
Does it trip you out the fact that even without your all the stuff you accomplished, people still be out there hating on you? Oh, he can't do this. First it was like you couldn't be a champion, now you're a champion. Better be a undisputed champion, now you can't do this. You can't do it at this weight class. Does it bother you the fact that people still hate you?
Well, that's the nature of my sport, I'm not as much. I feel like I must not be as much likable as everybody else, but I've tried my best to be as likable as I can. You come here to support me or not. I'm gonna fight for all of the belts right now, and that's a huge thing for me. So it's either you like it or not, you respect it or not. You come to Texas, and you in Texas, you come to support Jermell Charlo, okay? Jermell Charlo and Jermell Charlo, the Charlo twins. If we're in your city, pull up, baby. We're gonna fight, and we're gonna put on a show for you.
Does it bother you the fact that people still question your resume? Who's he fought? You got these belts, they still like, who's he fought?
Nah. If they question my resume at this point, I'm just like, okay, you must not know about the sport of boxing because obviously you don't know my weight division.
How important was it to have this fight in Texas? You fought at Barclays, you fought in Vegas, LA.
Well, I had a lot of venues. I could have fought in Vegas, LA, New York, but thank God it made us to this point to where I'm fighting in Texas. I'm much more excited about that than anything. Low key, it haven't really hit me yet. I'm fighting in Texas, bro. That's tight. Just Texas alone. Mm-hmm. But San Antonio, cool, that's tight. That's even doper. San Antonio caught a lot of boxing fans.
Yep.
People from Houston go to San Antonio every weekend. So, why not compete me fight?
You just mentioned how obviously there's a lot of fights that were being talked about, but people getting knocked off. For many, many years, your name has been the one consistent name at the top of the 154-pound division. We just saw Jarrett Hurd be upset recently as well. Talk to us about the consistency throughout your career and being able to remain, top dog at 100.
I just want to say thank you to God because he got beat by J-Rock, and I think Rosario beat J-Rock, and then all of a sudden I come out of nowhere, boom, I beat, Rosario, but Lubin, I knocked him out, and all the other people, I knocked him out. When I lost Sonny Harrison, I revenged my loss. Shout out to the WBC. They really believed in me because if it wasn't for the WBC, I probably wouldn't have never got the opportunity. Who would have thought that I would have made that title back to keep my ranking. So now, me being the top dog in the division and fighting for all of that I can fight for, it's just like now I feel like I got so much more on my plate than anybody.
Jermell,
all these arenas like your Toyota Center going to be at AT&T. I know you was fighting Dallas. Does it inspire you to be in one of these stadiums, either AT&T Stadium or Lion or the Alamo Dome, to take it to the next
I wish
level?
I had my own stadium, but I fought in Toyota Stadium before. I fought in Lion Arena before.
I'm talking about the stadium, the football stadium. So it inspire you to get to that level.
Now to move across the nation, the state is huge.
Jermell, talk about just obviously you, your brother Earl. How old were you when you guys started talking about like we're gonna headline, we're gonna be the guys in Texas?
I don't think we was even professionals when I first spoke on being a headline in boxing. Like now I'm a headline, like that's crazy to me. That's bizarre to me. It's still crazy to me. Like I won't enjoy this stuff until my children are like apart and up to age to where they can talk to me about it. Right now I'm just living a life and a dream come true. I can't believe that I'm actually fighting in front of my son. Like I'm fighting in front of my son. He's 12 years old almost. My daughter's almost 10. It's just like crazy to me. My fiance, she watching. My baby, it's just amazing, big things for me. It gives me another spark for sure. But for sure, dog, like I'm like, wow. Like I used to drive to San Antonio for 3.5 hours just to go to UTSA, hang out with there, take her classes, and just go to San Antonio at Six Flags. Now I'm actually to see if any of those party members could come watch me fight. Like, and they come out. Like San Antonio is a dope ass sport. Dope ass city that loves sports because they don't have football, right? So why not support boxing?
Now, does it trip you out that you got a lot of respect in the hood and in the suburbs? Like they like you in the Woodlands and they like you in South Houston.
Yeah, so that's the difference between me, right? So like people in the hood, like I love my hood. Like I love every hood, especially A-Leaf and Southwest. I've been in South Park. I've been in the Northside Acres.
Even South Dallas, they like you.
Yeah, I've been even in South Dallas, of course, and that's in a whole nother state. But like I'm really, I care about just respect, period. And if you respect is the same way, even if you're in the suburbs or not. So I love the fact that like Texas, it's just like a Texas thing. Let's gravitate to mostly about that, but I love the hood, dog. Like I just can't get the hood out of me. The hood, I'm gonna eat ramen noodles forever. But that ain't not only the hood eat ramen noodles, the suburbs eat it too. So it's just like, it's things that we all share in common and we enjoy it. From people from the suburbs just come from the hood and they'll meet and say, what are the things you like? We'll be able to converse in common.
Mel, you mentioned Rosario and Lubin. What do you think about that fight? They're fighting next week.
Hey, Lubin and Rosario fighting next week, and that's a really tough fight for both of them. I don't want to make any predictions because I might be at that fight, but I think Rosario has a redemption on his mind, and Lubin has a ego on his mind. So either one or the other will get broken.
Because he always asks for a rematch with you,
Correct.
Lubin. That's I hear it all the time.
Mel, Winky Wright was the last undisputed champion at 154 back in 2004. It's been a while since somebody's been that. How do you want your legacy in the sport to be remembered as, and what is underrated in Jermell Charlo's boxing game?
My mental mostly is underrated. Like I pay attention to how people don't really understand my mental about the sport of boxing. The longer you're in boxing, the better your mental becomes. And Lubin is a great fighter. Like he's up in the top 10, and I feel like a lot of people can't fuck with him. And so, sorry, a lot of people can't beat Lubin, but a lot of people will be able to put up a good fight with him. And so Rosario as himself is a great fighter, but he has a lot more to show me because he hasn't put up most of the stats Lubin has. Lubin beat Terrell Gershon. Statistics pay the bills, so I really don't know what this really is given. I'm not the one that's fighting for them, so I don't know neither one of the motherfuckers. And neither do I like any boxer.
Obviously, you're going to roll with your boy Spence against Pacquiao, but do you think that's a tough fight? You think it's going to be a few rounds till Spence breaks him down? What do you think about that fight?
I think with the consistent pressure that Spence throws, nothing matters that Pacquiao does.
Pacquiao ain't got nothing for him?
He's not a Porter. He's not a Thurman. He's not a Danny Garcia. He's not none of those guys. Like, Spence is completely a different animal. Spence can move, he can box, he can punch, he can do a lot of different things in his arsenal. But the caliber of fighters he's been fighting hasn't shown him everything that Pacquiao would show him. So if Spence has to take it up another level, I feel like nothing matters. If Spence wins that, they'll say Pacquiao is old, They'll talk shit about Spence and all this other bullshit. But I feel like no matter what they say, to me personally, Spence has that other spark. He has that other ethos aspect that nobody else has.
Do you think he'll keep him on the outside with his range?
And
Or
like, if it wants to come on the inside, that's where they fuck up at. Like, Spence is really a great inside fighter. Like, they fuck up. Like this is a bad fuck up fight. I'm telling you. Watch what I'm telling you. Like, Spence is really coming to win. And no matter what, if it takes from the 11th round, if it's tied up, 12 rounds, Spence wins.
Jermell, have you talked
Not
to
about being
Spence? Or,
friends and shit.
yeah.
have you
real
talked
talk.
to Spence or even talked to Derek James about kind of that fight and the preparation, kind of strategy, anything like that?
Nah, honestly, I haven't. I've been really focused on my fight day in, day out. I haven't talked to Derek about it.
You told me yesterday between you and Castaño, he's going to come at you, you're going to come at him. You feel like it's going to be fight of the year. I know fighters maybe don't kind of want to get in fights of the year, right? You kind of want to be dominant. So what is it about Castaño's style that you feel it's going to?
I haven't been in a fight where my life has been on the line to the extreme, you know. And if this is the moment that I got to put my life on the line for my family, I'm willing to take that risk, you know, like. No matter what it takes, if Brian Castaño wants to fight and he wants to bang, I'm willing to bang. And if I have to box to win, I'm mentally smart enough to box to win. So with that being said, I'm undisputed. You know, like this is an opportunity for me, not just for me, but for Texas. I'm excited. You know, I want this more than he do. It's all about who's hungrier. You know, we're both in shape type of fighters. We both can throw a lot of punches. I mean, obviously I don't throw a lot of punches because I punch hard. But, well, I'll punch hard for the 12 rounds. I don't think that because of, you know, they say power don't matter, but in this particular moment, I think power going to make a difference. Power going to make a difference on his pressure as well.
Talk about, obviously you always train to win, you train your hardest all the time, but him coming to your state, I feel like that gives you a little bit of edge, like no one's coming into your house to take what's yours.
You know, they could come fight. That's what the name of the game, right? I've been here 35 times. I want to take a chance in my life, you know? This is the chance that I take. Whenever I take a chance and it's somebody that's tough and rugged and ready to rumble, like, let's go. Like, bro, like, I don't hear a lot of shit talking, so I can't keep running your mouth. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I will push that out there, you know, like, this is what I do. I do strive off of this to keep running your mouth.
No. Jermell, really quick, obviously you become undisputed July 17th. Earl successful against Pacquiao. I mean, it'd be hard to argue with Derek James right there being trainer of the year, right? You know, undisputed champion and having 3 of the 4 belts for Earl at welterweight. Why do you think that maybe, as mentioned earlier, maybe he is a little underappreciated or not Derek that is? Like, why do you think that?
Derek's from the old school, you know, like, they don't look for attention. A lot of people that's in boxing, they want to look for attention because they want their fighter. They want to be the coach that get another fighter. Derek is the type of coach that doesn't want another fighter. So he's quiet, you know, like it takes a lot to be that guy that said, hell, let me get the next fighter that's going to be a champion. Derek's looking at this opportunity like, hey, these are my studs, these are my guys, let's keep fighting. So Derek doesn't gravitate to that bullshit. So now, with your question, it's just like, you know, I think because of the talent, the natural talent that me and Earl both have, it takes nothing to defect what these opponents want. Me, as long as you got 2 great fighters and you got a great coach who can stimulate the mind, hey, we're ready to win.
Obviously, you made the transition from Ronnie Shields to Derek a few years. Being under Derek and working with Derek now for a few years, what do you think, looking back throughout these years, what do you think has been the best thing he's brought out of you?
It's my personality, you know, like a lot of people talk that shit and say, Jermell wasn't talking like this until he got this money.
They don't know you.
Like, I had that street money too. Like, I was satisfied. I mean, a lot of people in the streets wasn't making much money as me still at that time. But thank God to boxing, I'm out of the streets, but I'm still boxing. I'm fucking shit up. Like, that's what it's about. But because of Derek, it created a different humbleness in me. And then look at my career. Like, I lost before, I bounced back, I fought for more, and I have more hunger and jet fuel, what they call it. And everybody remind me, Jermell, put that jet fuel together. Put that jet
JP8.
Yeah. JP8.
You know, I know.
Let's get more ethos. You know, sometimes in life you don't have to have too much. And it took a lot for me to do a press conference right now. You know, like I'm not really one of those guys. I can talk, yes, but I'm not really one of the talkers because I'm like a walker. You know what I mean? But I'm really like serious about everything I say, and I'm just afraid to say the wrong thing. So it's like I'm battling mentally with everything, and yeah, it takes a lot for me to be humble, I guess what they would call it. But I'm not arrogant. It's just I'm just not into the BS that people would say. You know, if you make a mistake in saying something dumb to me, I'm gonna correct it.
Do you feel that maybe people misinterpret you just because of how vocal, like you're yourself, you're genuine? Do you feel that maybe because you're not what they want to see, right? The stereotypical. Do you feel that maybe that's why people may?
I've learned a lot in life now after so long. No matter what they say about me, you just gotta keep being you. If I was to decide to be who they said I would be, I'll be all kind of different people. Then I would be making much more mistakes. But I tend to be me, and as you guys come along as a media, I try to correct every mistake as I can. I pray and wish that y'all guys can get a true concept of me and figure me out. You know, I'm different, completely different from my twin brother, and that's all I expect and want from you guys. But my twin brother is just a warrior as me. I love my brother to death. We do have our ups and downs, but I just want the world to know the difference between Jermell and Jermell Charlo. I have a lot that I fight for. I fight for integrity. You know, I fight for men. I fight for peace. I fight for everything. You know, I fight for power. I fight for strength. I fight for condition. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, who gonna last longer? Do you have more than that than I do?
Mel, real quick, Mel. You're a boxing brain, so obviously your opinion is valued. What do you make of this trilogy fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury? What does Wilder have to do to avenge his loss?
Well, first and foremost, he's admitted to his mistakes that he done in that fight. Like I said before, I have no problem with Wilder. I actually like Wilder as a fighter. I like Wilder as a puncher. I like Fury as a boxer. And I'm not here to be biased about anything. I made a mistake the other day, and I said race don't matter. You know, like I said race don't matter, but they took it and said, oh, race don't matter throughout the world. Like, no, I was talking about in that particular fight. I was talking about, like, why does race matter during that fight? Now, race matters, of course, because you're judges, and you can go statistical about everything, but race, like he said he was chocolate, and because he was chocolate and he lost the fight, I just thought that was like bogus.
And didn't you reference like skills pay the bills? Or
I did reference skill pay the bills. I don't know if people seen that, but if skills pay the bills, why are we speaking on, like, I'm fighting a European, you know? That Ray Wilder wanted to slap me, like I was smoking his bitch ass. Like, I have people ready to go to prison for life for him. So if, like, I'm not interested in somebody saying they're gonna slap me, this is my life and your life that you're dealing with. So let's see who really more of that than, like, since you're so, like, right, let's see if you really about that shit. Like, cause I was a part of this shit before boxing. Like, that's what I stand for. But at the end of the day, this is boxing, right? And then in boxing, during that fight, you know, I didn't see a significant way that they can say he cheated. Now, a lot of people say, man, gloves and all of this. Commissions check gloves right before fight. During the fight, they don't leave. I don't see any position happening where Wilder could have made a mistake or Fury could have did some cheating shit. If they didn't catch that, they're bogus on that. All right, like, and I hate Fury for that. Like, I don't fuck with none of these motherfuckers. Fuck a Fury, fuck a Wilder, fuck all of these motherfuckers. This is about us in Texas, right? Like, I don't care about none of this shit. But I'm not here to turn against my black people.
And he's an American.
I'm here for my black community. I'm here for my black fighters. I'm here for my black region, whatever. We've been doubted our whole life. We have never got the opportunity that we deserve. And because of that, I stand very strong for my black pride. And I want all of this to go out to y'all media people. I want y'all to present this out, because, I mean, this is me correcting that bullshit that I said. When I said race don't matter, which I should have said race didn't matter during that fight. So don't let it get fucked up. Race matters, of course, and I stand very proud. My day in my city is Juneteenth. They wouldn't have made that out if they said race didn't matter. Yeah. You know, they understand me, so therefore it does, okay? No, I'm not done. I just want the world to know that I'm not afraid to speak on racism. And I know it's not fair, but at the end of the day, you know, we all going to heaven, or we're trying to get to the gates of heaven. So we have to try our best to do everything we can to get to the gates of heaven, even if you're white or black or not. It's a lot of religions that are made up, and it's a lot of things that we should accomplish before we die. And right now, I believe during that situation of trying to belittle me, they're wrong. I'm here for my people, but I'm also here for anybody.
That's real talk.
Jermell,
Last question.
Next is right from Houston, going to San Antonio fight. I'm
Thank
from
you, Kelly.
Dallas.
You're the best, baby. Kelly, love you, mama.
I'm from Dallas, so I've seen you, your brother, come up. You're gonna have a lot of fans there in San Antonio on July 17th.
Correct.
You deal very good with pressure. Are you gonna start feeling when it comes Friday? That night.
My skin is thick. I have thick skin, bro. I don't think it takes anything to continue to deal with the same thing I've been dealing with all life. Is that now is the time to step up and be more stronger. Fans, I love my fans. My fans are here for me. I'm gonna go to the mall and shop before I fight, and I'm gonna go hang out with the people in San Antonio and maybe meet some firemen and maybe meet some people that took risk in their life. And I'm excited about San Antonio. I'm excited. It's just as excited as I am about San Antonio as I am about Houston.
No, lastly, just with Father's Day being tomorrow, obviously you brought up your kids earlier and how they've grown and whatnot. Just talk to us about the conversations like these days with your children. Obviously, as they're getting older, they're starting to comprehend and understand things more. Sitting down with your son, your daughter, just your kids in general, having those conversations. What are those conversations like between Jermell Charlo, the dad, and his children?
Here go, coach. Well, I love my children. They come to my gym. They watch me train. They know everything about me. I love him, man. This is my guy, man. We don't have we trying our best to keep our sanity. I think I go crazy here. That he calms me down, and he go crazy. Then they calm him down. And if it's some smoke in the streets or some smoke in the city or some smoke on some boxing politicals, we're the guys that handle that shit with ease. I really appreciate Derrick James for everything he's done for me. Like, my coach is not getting younger; he's getting older. So as he gets older, he gets wiser. He's like my father. Like, this is dope to me. We can share these moments together.
This is not about my age, though.
It was a compliment. So you get a wiser.
I like that though, because I think you always have to be thought provoking.
He helped me get wiser though. It's crazy.
If you only hear, as somebody said, I'm only holding the mitts and stuff like that, then you're wasting your time and you're not really being a part of what they're doing, because it's a process, a life process. It's about how they grow.
Bigger than boxing.
And it's bigger than boxing, so I think that we talk about a lot of stuff. We talk about more life things than we talk about boxing stuff.
Cause life is real. Like in reality, if I wasn't training, then what? Y'all wouldn't know nothing about me, and that's why I call Derrick James for some of the time the realest shit ever.
My name is
Does it trip you out that people don't know that y'all about that life still? Like all the stuff y'all done that y'all.
He's from Oakland, bro. He's really about that life, though. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe you're woke.
So I was talking to Derrick years back when you first started together. One thing that he said that caught my attention is that when you're at the gym, he's very particular on who comes to the gym and how he structures. Training camp. And he said, I don't like anybody coming in because I could be doing this and somebody opens the door, takes my distraction off of Charlo. You like those little particular details that Derrick, as a coach?
That's what made him so famous to me. When I come
those little things, right?
Like, bro, I have so much respect for my coach. And then not just that, the boxing is like outside of the boxing. You go out to eat with him, he fucking flips his napkin over his plate, and it's just like this guy is really it's like great. Like, that's what makes you a better man. Though. I taught my children these same things though.
Well, being from Dallas, as much as he gives back to the city, especially to Oak Cliff, we know how tough that city is. So it's another thing that we can appreciate. People don't see that Derrick is always looking out for the community. Even earlier right now, he's giving shoes to the kids.
Yeah, right? I just did the thing together today. We're all one, which is cool. Backpack giveaway for the kids.
We all won. You see?
Yeah.
See, nobody gonna complain about that. Nobody could complain about that because we all actually are one. We all got one thing to do, and that's make it to heaven. And that's what my coach strives for. You know, it's not like, oh, these are two colors. These are two different colors.
But
you know?
they really are two different things. They just saying, you know.
I know, but we all are one.
But I'm just saying, you know, we all.
Don't correct me right now.
It's cool that y'all both are winning, and did y'all as a society, yeah, well, y'all win fights, y'all got belts, but y'all winning in real life, which is really what it's about. That y'all can be the role models to these young inner city kids, and people don't talk about that. You kind of talked about.
I watched my coach buy a mansion. He helped me buy a mansion.
What are you talking about? We talking about
These
charity.
big, nice
man.
cars.
Okay,
I mean, in life, and we have to win together. We're winning together. So at the end of the day, we're winning. But those things are helping us win.
So basically,
Despite the odds being stacked against y'all, being from Oak Cliff, being from South Houston, y'all still winning in life.
But this is the thing about it, though. I think that
He don't like to talk about big cars.
you don't let all these other obstacles stop you from being who you are, right? You have to push through your pain, push through your sorrow, push through all those things to be great and be successful. You can't let those things that are stacked against you hinder you, because all these other things are forms of weakness. If you care about what I'm doing, you're weak. Right? Why do you care what I'm doing? You should be focused on yourself and being better and getting better. And I think that.
And your family.
I think that that's a key element, that we all strive to help each other and build each other. America is only as strong as the weakest individual in the country. Remember that. So that's why we always got to help everybody and push everybody up higher and keep growing and growing and growing, because we're only as strong as the weakest individual. That's good.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Dope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a good way.
Thank y'all. That's good. Thank y'all. Fuck. Y'all trying to make me drink all my water.
I go to the gym anytime when I leave.
Anytime, like.
Hey man.
Well, we not in
Just one day.
Well,
you can say you got 2 hours.
It's up to coach.
I don't know why you be doing that, man. Yeah,
Jermell,
Yes, you already, coach. Fuck, bro.
no, I didn't say that. Nothing.
you landed the first shot. You already landed the first
I'm
shot.
gonna land a lot more than that. That bitch coming to get hit.
Hey, Mel.
Hey Mel, actually, real quick, could I get your opinion on Canelo Plant, man? If that fight were to take place, how does that fight play out?
Man, I can't make those. I can't make those calls because Canelo hasn't fought yet. I'm out of here, baby. I love y'all for the interviews. Stop y'all cameras. I'm ready to get out of here. I don't know what else to say.
Thank you.
I can't wait till my brother punch so much tonight, right?
Perfect.
You boo-boos.
Cool. Tight. Man, so much for that nap. I think we're getting that nap. Man, he's trying to get in there.
Can't do that.
He said he already asked me.
And I know that. I know he always does it. He's
been doing that shit for the past 3 days.
Yeah. Come on, man. I'm about to run up on Triller. That's what I'm gonna do.
You still live.
I am still live. I got like 300 people.
Fuck, bro?
I got like 300 people watching. What do you want from me?
Aaron Cantu
Man,
here
we
with
got Aaron
KO
Cantu.
Artist Sports, one of the most dynamic YouTubers in the game right now. You know, KO has been in the game and he's built up his channel, and we're here talking to the Charlo bros.
It's a blessing, bro. What a blessing.
Hitting them with that fire questions.
All
Let's
day.
get it. Keep supporting this man. Let's go.
Yeah, appreciate that, Cantu. That was good stuff.
It ain't gonna work, Kendrick.
Everyone,
it ain't gonna work.
hit the like button, hit the
It's not
subscribe
gonna
button.
work. You get your ass in the gym. That ain't gonna work, bro.
It's not gonna happen.
They both told you no. I'm on that PBC shit.
Yeah, I'm on that PBC.
let me come to the gym.
Let me come to the gym.
And then Derek was like, hey, man.
He tried to pull a fast one.
Yeah, he did. Derek was like, hey, man.
And Kelly even told you, and then you gonna cut your ass up here on the stage.
I work for these people though.
I ain't saying that, but they already told. If the man that owned the gym told you no.
Get him, Ty. Get him.
Me too. Shit, I got it when it mean most. Arrow right after the car accidents.
That's it. What you get it?
That a man? You thought you were trying to set me up.
I feel like that's not covered.
She
like
cool.
She at the Olympic trials right now.
She cool.
You know what? How old are you? 25?
27.
She's 25.
That shit's funny, Kendrick. That exclusive, bro.
Hilarious.
That was hilarious. Hey, man. You know who else was trying to do that before? But he got kicked. Turn it off.
Oh,
I don't want to.
oh, I'm muted for you. I'm muted real quick.
No, I'm
All right, guys,
from
everybody, I'm gonna log off.
I was
Hit the like
born in
button,
Oak Cliff,
sub
but don't
button.
put me in that conversation.
And I'll see you
Don't
guys.
put me in that conversation.
Tune in, hit the bell icon because I'm going to live stream the post-fight press conference of Jermell as well. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.
I'm not even trying to pretend. My cousins over there.
The PPC